what really matters.
Tell me about this bubble title. Glorified AAU. Grown men playing AAU is nasty work, my guy.
Okay, man. All they had to do was eat, sleep, and play basketball. That was their job. All they had to do was eat, sleep, and play basketball. And you're saying it don't count. All they had to do was play basketball. Do you understand that if that was Kobe or Michael Jordan locked in a bubble, it'll be a documentary about that? Bow, boy, where you been? It's TeeJay the artist. You rocking with me. You are the smartest, and we back with another video, man. We got one Laker fan versus 10 Laker haters. We done did the LeBron hater, the Steph hater. We done did the old head versus the young people. Fan versus hater. We here. We gonna see if this Laker fan can take over or the Laker haters gonna win this. About to see what went on, man. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna do this. We're gonna break this up in parts like we always do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get into the video. Could you turn me up in the headphones a little bit?
Lakers are the greatest franchise in the NBA.
No, it's forced upon us by the media.
You tune in to watch basketball because the Lakers are playing. That's why you watch.
Do they have more championships than the Boston Celtics?
What does it have to do with us?
Kobe and Shaq might not even be the best 1-2 punch all time for the Lakers.
Oh my God.
Oh, Lord.
New York Knicks are the greatest franchise.
Who has
Yo, here we go. It's
more
okay.
championships?
You have to win to be the best. And the Lakers have not done that consistently.
The 2020 champion.
You have to win to. This is early. You have to win to be the best. And the Lakers haven't did that consistently.
Championship was way harder than people give credit for.
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
All you guys did this season was sell a bunch of Luka and Bronny jerseys.
Welcome to Fan vs. Hater. Today
This about to be interesting. All right, here we go.
Super fan, legend of winning, better known as Low.
Low.
Today he's going against a dream team of Laker haters. We're going to go through several debate topics, and at the end, our esteemed panel of judges will let us know who emerged victorious.
All right.
Take it away with the first topic.
The Los Angeles Lakers are the greatest franchise in the NBA.
Are they the greatest franchise in the NBA? It's literally between them or the Celtics. I mean, whichever way you want to land is valid. It's a valid statement. You can't argue that either or, because they done had all the superstars. A lot of the top 25, top 75 are Lakers. It's a lot of Lakers in there. So you got to give it to them. But the Celtics are the only other team that can, battle them for that. Let's see. Here we go.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Not much.
5 of those titles belong to Minnesota, not to LA.
Okay.
Oh, the Minneapolis Lakers. Valid.
Okay.
You still hanging on to that bubble title? Talk
Yeah.
to
And okay, here we go. The bubble title.
me.
Yes, we are. That counted. Everybody was there. All the teams were there. They were available. They were playing. So yes, that counts. And Minnesota is still the Lakers. I mean, it's still Lakers. So I don't understand. Just because we move cities, that doesn't change the fact that it happened with the Lakers. That doesn't change anything at all.
That says Los Angeles on your chest, though.
But the word that's bigger is Lakers. The Lakers are the bigger word there. That's what really happens. That's what really matters.
Tell me
the most.
about this bubble title. Glorified AAU. Grown men playing AAU is nasty work, my guy.
Okay, man. All they had to do was eat, sleep, and play basketball. That was their job. All they had to do was eat, sleep, and play basketball. And you're saying it don't count. All they had to do was play basketball. Do you understand that if that was Kobe or Michael Jordan locked in a bubble, it'll be a documentary about that? It'll be a documentary about that. About how locked in Kobe was. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I heard the ball being dribbled, and I look outside, it's Kobe Bryant. Or he was playing such and such one-on-one in the bubble, and he was learning all his moves, and he locked them up in the finals. What are we talking about, bro? It's the purest form of basketball. They literally can't do nothing else but play basketball, and you're saying that that's not hard? Like, that's not challenging? You know what? It would have counted if Miami would have beat them. It would have counted then. It would have definitely counted. But you're gonna sit up here and let all these other people and you're gonna let all these other people say that it don't count. But the basketball players themselves are telling you that was the hardest one. Because mentally you had to be there. Whatever.
But they were all there though. Everybody was there.
The audience was on a Zoom call.
And they were there too. Everybody was there. If anything, that should make it. We're getting way too ahead of ourselves. Look, all I know is this. This is the greatest franchise ever, bro. I'm
glad you brought it back to what the topic is. Los Angeles Lakers are the greatest franchise. He tried to say, let's talk about the bubble championship. No, we're talking about the greatest franchise. You see how he trying to. But
second most championships
good job. Bring it back.
in the NBA. You're talking about what we did back in the day. That still counts, especially you're gonna count what the Celtics did. And on top of that, we've been able to stay relevant practically every single last decade, star after star after star. That's something that no other franchise in the league can say.
All
so you
flash,
sitting there talking
no
about
substance.
one. How is it no substance? It has more.
Flash. You never developed nobody.
Okay.
Who'd you develop?
Let's come.
never developed nobody.
Magic.
No, we're getting
Then he said that's it. Like we ain't watched Kobe whole career.
way too ahead of ourselves. Who your favorite team?
Myself, Combo.
Oh, okay. Good answer, because you know for a fact your franchise wouldn't be able to match up with mine. So that's a really, really great.
That's a fact. The only other franchise you could say is the Celtics. He knew that if he would have been like Washington Wizards, you could.
Answer.
I am the franchise.
Yeah.
Get him out of the chair. Get him out of the chair. Get him out of the chair.
Because no other franchise would be able to match up with the Lakers, so you would have to say those things. But look, Lakers are the greatest franchise in the NBA.
He don't really have a debate for real.
You tune in to watch basketball because the Lakers are playing. That's why you watch. Let's be honest with ourselves.
No, it's forced upon us by the media.
Oh,
everything Lakers.
Oh, so but you can't tell me who you watch though.
All you guys did this season was sell a bunch of Luka and Bronny jerseys. Come on.
You still can't tell me.
He don't have a real debate. He just trying to he's trying to move the goalposts. He's trying to like get over here and get over there so we can talk about that. He's not talking about this though. The only other franchise he could talk about is the Celtics. He got to go. Basically, if I'm sitting in a chair versus him, I'm going to be a Celtic fan at this moment because that's the only one that can realistically go at the Lakers is Celtics with this topic.
And this is 1 year. We're talking about the course of the totality of their existence. By far the best franchise in the NBA. You can't even refute that right now.
The Celtics are the most dominant franchise, and they always been in Boston, man.
What happened in the 90s? What happened in the 90s?
What happened in the 90s?
You tell me. What happened in the 90s?
You guys missed more
2000s?
You guys missed more playoffs than you made. You guys missed more playoffs than you made in the past 20 years.
So what? 20 years. You see how you stopped it at 20 though? You see how you stopped it at 20?
What, you want to go back to the 60s?
We didn't do the. I keep saying the whole thing.
When you were in Minneapolis?
It's still Lakers, dog. You talking about different
might as well give them to the T-Wolves.
Lakers.
Tell me what talent the Lakers have developed.
You're getting a little too ahead of yourself right now because
you keep saying that.
First of all, Kobe, Magic, a bunch of.
You got Kobe from Charlotte.
He never played for Charlotte. Let's not do this, bruh. Get him out of the chair, bro. He said that like he plays for Charlotte.
Where did he develop from though? Where did he develop?
In Italy.
Oh,
get him out the chair, bro.
Italy. Oh,
get him out the chair, bro.
Man, look, we're the greatest franchise. You can't refute that. You tell me about a Celtics team where a majority of their franchise happened. I mean, a majority of the championships will happen in a 10-year span. After that, they became practically irrelevant for only 3 years. That's it. Between the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, they had like 3 or 4 championships throughout like a 40-year stretch.
That is true. The Celtics, all their championships come from Bill Russell.
Majority of the championships are happening in one 10-year stretch. Bill Russell, that's it. After that, it was done.
You still hanging on to Showtime, in-season tournament victories, and bubble championships,
Showtime.
Man.
He didn't mention none of that. He didn't mention in-season. You mentioned bubble, which means he talked about it. He didn't even mention Showtime Lakers. He's talking about the whole thing, bro. Get him out this chair, bro.
Glorified AAU.
Get him out of here, bro.
Kobe and Powell, a whole bunch of stuff, man.
Okay, not
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, thank you. Get him out the chair.
Not bad, not bad.
Don't bring him back, bro.
A lot of good
I didn't
arguments
like
come
him.
out there for sure, for sure.
Not gonna lie,
What's good, man?
you're the biggest hater, man. I've seen you before, so you're.
Oh, wow.
You're just a hater.
Okay.
Oh,
So my name precedes me, and I'm happy, but I'm happy to debate you. You're very knowledgeable. So let's get to the facts.
Okay.
You started saying that the Lakers are the greatest franchise. Did you?
shh. Put bless you in the comments. Thank you.
Do they have more championships than the Boston Celtics?
No.
No, they don't.
Are they the most valuable franchise in the NBA?
Right now?
Yes.
No.
Number 3. Okay. Are they
Okay.
the most viewed franchise in the NBA?
Depends on what day it is.
No. Do they?
Who?
The Golden State Warriors? Do they sell
Who's
the?
second?
Okay.
The Knicks.
The
Ooh.
Knicks? In what capacity?
In terms of overall viewership, who sells the most jerseys?
I think it's the Lakers actually.
It's the Golden State Warriors.
Golden
Stephen
State
Curry,
Warriors.
the number
Stephen
one
Curry.
jersey
Whoa,
seller
wait,
in
no,
the
no,
world.
Curry sells the
Yes.
most. That team doesn't sell more than the Lakers.
Well,
though.
listen, we only talk about the player, right? LeBron.
No,
James,
no,
I think-
no.
No, it's team versus team. He got you. It's team versus team. So that means Bronny, Luka, even the AD jerseys, all in one. Austin Reeves versus Steph. Draymond, who's buying Draymond jerseys? Somebody buying them, but not. It can't compete with. You know what I'm saying? Are you buying a Kuminga jersey? He might even get traded. So why would you buy that jersey? Jimmy Butler jersey could be popping, but you know.
No.
And I don't think
we don't just talk about the player. We talk about the team.
Yeah, this doesn't say LeBron James is the greatest franchise in the NBA.
Listen, now
It's
y'all
not
got-
just LeBron. It's also Luka. Then it was AD. There's no way you're telling me Draymond Green sells more jerseys than AD.
Listen,
There's no way you're telling me that.
Curry's carrying Draymond in jersey sales too. But let's just stick to the
Oh,
facts. So they're
okay,
not the most
okay.
valuable. They don't win the most. They don't sell the most. So what is
Well,
your
they do sell
argument?
the
What
most.
what's your argument for saying that they're the greatest franchise? What is this argument based on?
They do sell the most. Just because one player on the Warriors sell more than everybody else doesn't mean that they sell the most. So let's get established that.
Okay.
Also, any team, any player that comes to this team immediately change the whole complexion of the entire NBA. Curry's been on the Warriors. The Warriors were not relevant, nor as relevant as once the Lakers got Luka. Jimmy Butler came on there, still wasn't as relevant. But overall, yes, the Celtics, they got us in championships. But again, that's a 10-year stretch, right? What happened again, like I said, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 20s. Like, you can go beyond that 50s and early 60s, right? You know, beyond that stretch of years, everything else has been dominated by the Lakers. Every single decade, the Lakers have been relevant.
Except for the 90s, because that's Chicago.
You tell me which franchise can say that. Which franchise can say throughout 60s till now has been relevant in every single decade?
I'll tell you right now, you mentioned them. The Boston Celtics have always been relevant. And you're talking about back in the day and who's won chips in a span. 11 of the Lakers championships were before the three-point line was even implemented. So a lot of the things that you're basing your argument off of are applicable to the Lakers as well. And you talk about acquiring star talent. The Lakers are a team that's known to steal, right? They steal players in order to shift narratives. And then you're talking...
Okay.
And then you bring up relevance. The Lakers aren't relevant right now because they're at home, right?
You know what they mean by relevance, bro. Don't do that. They're irrelevant right now because they're at home. So that means the Celtics, who you're arguing for, is also irrelevant because they're at home. So you're going to sit here and tell me that the Thunder and the Pacers are more relevant than those two teams, is what you just said.
They got Doncic and they got sent home. But you know who's still playing right now?
Who?
Wardell, Stephen Curry, number 30.
So this was recorded earlier. So all of a sudden you're switching your narrative. This was still while Steph was still in the playoffs, but he's out too now. And also he's switching his narrative from the Celtics to Steph Curry.
30.
Well, technically speaking, he's not playing right now.
Well, he won't
but,
play tonight.
Technically speaking, he wasn't.
The Warriors have the best medical staff in the NBA. He will be back.
Last time
And he never came back.
Last time the Lakers played the Warriors in the playoffs, what happened?
Lakers
The
won.
Lakers won.
Okay, the Lakers won. Also, in terms of, let's go back into what you said about the championships. Majority of them won before the three-point line. Again, that's in contrast to what you said about the Boston Celtics. However, since then, again, I asked the question. You said they were dominant or relevant in every decade. In the 90s, Name me the Celtics that were relevant in the 90s.
You're right. They weren't relevant.
Okay, so there's
after
another,
91, what Lakers were relevant? Until 2000. That's in 2000. That's not
in
90.
No, Shaq got there early. He's talking about a championship. They're talking about when he first went to LA.
1996, when we got Shaq, they were relevant, correct?
Did they win?
Relevant. If
winning matters.
If we're talking about winning, then that's even a bigger gap for the Celtics. So don't set yourself up for that. Because after Bird won, it was 2008 until they won again.
You're correct.
Yikes.
And you're talking about stealing and acquiring. They didn't get another championship till they got KG and Ray Allen.
And guess who stole that? The Celtics did.
So let's establish that again.
Wow.
Correct.
So again, so from the end of the Bird era when they won up until the one championship in 08, up until just last year, we're talking about one chip in what, 30, 35 years? You call that relevant? You questioning the relevancy of the Lakers within that time frame, but you bring up the Celtics who won one championship in a 35-year period. Stop it. And again, they don't have to be the best in every single last category. I mean, my goodness, you hate on them enough anyway. Don't give them even more ammo. But if they continue to dominate the way they do, they may not be number one in jersey sales, but second. They may not be the most watched, but third, fourth. I mean, and I don't know about the Knicks. The Knicks maybe recently because of Jalen Brunson, but for most of our existence, it's been the Lakers.
Yes. So I think you made some very, very valid points.
He cooked.
But the fact of the matter is, I asked you, why do you think they're the most valuable franchise? And your answer was they were relevant. In my eyes, being from New York, relevance isn't enough. You have to win to be the best.
Well, you would think like that because New York don't win. You would think like that because New York don't win.
And the Lakers have not done that consistently. And that's a
Lakers have not done that consistently. That is a lie.
reason why they're home right now, because they're acquiring talent and it's not homegrown. And that is why the Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry are the most relevant franchise and the model franchise for
I thought you said the Celtics. Now you're moving to the Warriors.
all teams in the NBA right now.
They saying yes, but that's only because y'all want him to win. I'm gonna be honest with you. He lost. He lost.
All right.
The Bulls.
Speaking of 6 years,
Beating your Lakers in 91, MJ outshining Magic Johnson. And the only reason why people still talk about the Lakers is just the media hype. You guys absolutely disrespect all your role players. Even if you win your championship, you're
Why you talking like he reading off something?
not grateful. Like how Danny Green got depth dressed when he missed a shot in Game 5 of the 2020 Finals. You guys trying to hype up talentless Horton Tucker like he's next on deck, and he's pretty irrelevant now.
since he left the Lakers, right?
He's been pretty irrelevant
Yeah, since he left the Lakers. How do you know about THT?
because everyone overhyped him like
Because
he's
he
some
was on
big
the
dick.
Because he was on the Lakers.
It's okay.
The Lakers fool a lot of people with their role player hype.
Oh, okay.
But that's because you put that Laker on your jersey, you automatically get a goddamn hype boost, bruh.
He just told the guy before you just told me that people don't know about the role players. They're just nobody knows them. But now you're telling me that everybody now knows them. Again, most relevant, consistently, one of the better teams in the NBA, especially in contrast to other teams. You're a Bulls fan, I'm assuming.
Michael Jordan fan.
Michael Jordan fan.
4-1 on your Lakers in 91.
4-1 on my Lakers. Absolutely. You're right. You're absolutely right. I would then ask the question, what have the Bulls done since?
They haven't done too much because they got a pretty lousy owner, and because Michael Jordan is so good, everyone intimidated going to the Bulls.
Oh, everyone's intimidated now. This is actually a really great example of why exactly the Lakers are a great franchise. The Lakers have had all-time great talent on their roster, and they continue to build towards another subsection of dominance. The Bulls have struggled to do so since they were struggling to do so before. And then when Jordan left, everybody else left. They had the ability to rebuild. They had all the draft capital in the world, and then they failed to do so. And so now, again, if you are asking me about how dominant my franchise is and what they've been able to accomplish, the Bulls are a perfect example to why it's not as easy as people make it out to be, because you had Michael Jordan and haven't done nothing since.
all these years later, everyone's still talking about Michael Jordan like he's playing today.
You're right. They're talking about Michael Jordan, not the Bulls.
He is once again whooping y'all ass. Whooping them.
Michael Jordan's still as relevant as the
And then the first thing he say, Michael Jordan.
Lakers franchise today that's
Michael
still playing.
Jordan, but not the Bulls.
The Bulls are not irrelevant, but the Boston Celtics, they have more championships than the Lakers. And their players are also not as talented as the Lakers all time because they have cohesiveness. They got good chemistry, dating from the Bill Russell Celtics.
Or maybe they just can't draft well. But I mean, that could also be a part of it. Yeah.
Boston, they Tatum and Brown from the Nets. That's called being smart, building culture.
What happened before Tatum and Brown though?
Not
Who
a
they
dang
draft?
thing.
Larry Bird
You had to go all the way back to the 80s. 80s. So from Jason Tatum all the way to the 80s. To the 80s.
Yeah, it's a big gap with Boston. That's the hole that they have when you try to say that the Celtics can compete with the Lakers as the greatest franchise, because that's a huge gap. I mean, y'all wasn't doing anything during that time frame.
They're saying Paul Pierce in the background. So from Jason Tatum to the 90s, look how much of a gap that is in talent. Acquisition. Come on, what are we talking about?
Boston was irrelevant because of the death of Len Bias in '86, a few days after he was drafted. And also, Reggie Lewis was one of the great players in the 90s, and he passed away tragically in '93. That cost the Boston Celtics big time.
RP. They had RP.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a great.
They had other draft picks since then and still weren't able to draft anybody. And they had great talent on their roster. For example, they had Chauncey Billups, but they didn't
I ain't gonna lie. That was a great pull. The Len Bias pull was a great pull right there.
know what to do with them because they were an inadequate franchise, so they ended up losing him.
They were still decent for a little bit in 2002 when Paul Pierce overtook Allen Iverson in the playoffs.
2002, 1 year.
Yeah.
Great, man. 1 year, 1 year.
And
1
the
year.
Celtics beat the Lakers in the NBA Finals. 9 wins, Lakers only 3 wins. A lot of it in the 60s, just by 1 possession in devastating fashion. Very shameful.
Shout out to Bill Russell, man. Shout out.
All right, devastating fashion. I know that.
He was a good debater. It felt like a little robotic, but okay.
What up, baby?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Big Brooklyn. Big New York on my body.
Okay.
Okay, so she is about to probably talk about the New York Knicks. Sorry, Knicks.
Okay.
You?
Brooklyn Nets.
No.
Oh.
I'm out here like Spike Lee. I wear black and white on Sundays.
Okay.
We lit.
Okay.
I just want to get straight to it. So I want to change the parameters around why you say LA is the best franchise. Now, everybody talking relevancy. I think one of the points made earlier was about media and the Hollywood blueprint. I agree. So when you think about what makes a franchise relevant, for me, it's culture. And when I say culture, I mean, what is a household name, right? My mother don't watch basketball, but she know about the Knicks, right?
Cause y'all are from. That's a.
Hey, like, my sister to this day remembers me in my room crying on 1999 when we lost. Like,
Because y'all are from there, bro. What? You gotta break out of hometown. That's a hometown. My mama don't watch what's name, but she know about the Knicks. I wonder why. My mama know about the Cowboys. We're in Florida. She's a Cowboy fan. I don't know how that happened. It's just a thing. You know what I'm saying? Make them break out of that. You know that she probably know the Lakers.
culture, right? It's ingrained in everything. It transcends into music. It transcends into fashion, right? And so I feel like the Lakers is a little aight with that, you know what I mean? Because of the Hollywood aspect of it.
Okay.
Now, my argument is I feel like New York is different.
Okay.
In terms of culture. Why? Because I can go to Geneva, Switzerland and talk about the Knicks and they know who I'm talking about. Not just Jalen Brunson, but the New York Knicks because of Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden.
Okay, so she's using the Madison Square Garden card. Okay.
Garden has created a culture that transcends sport, right? Billy Joel played at the Garden, right? And
All the fights, okay, I get it.
great players do what at the Garden? Show out at the Garden.
But that's other players. on y'all floor. If that's what you're arguing, that is a bad argument. You're saying the Knicks is a great franchise because other stars cook us on our floor.
Right? And we got the mini garden, right? It's called Rucker Park. It's called Gersh Park, right? So when we talk about the greatest franchise, bro, we got to talk about culture. And when we talk about culture and rap music and sneakers, big New York on my body, WNBA socks on my toes, bro, you got to understand, like, I'ma say New York is the best franchise because every part of fashion, you come here. Met Gala, you here. New York Fashion Week, you here. Restaurant Week, you here.
All right, so she's talking about New York versus Los Angeles. This ain't got nothing to do with the Lakers or the Knicks.
Here eating French fries and pizza. Like, everybody want to come to New York just to go to a Knicks game, whether they give about the Knicks or not. Even when we losing, we still selling out Madison Square Garden, bro.
Okay. So that's a New York argument.
Thank you.
Not a Knicks. Not
all
a Knicks.
All day.
But okay, let's talk about the Knicks. Culture, right? Culture-wise, you had an owner that was egregiously bad. Yeah, terrible. Okay, that was great culture there. On Isaiah Thomas was running the franchise. Oh my goodness, that was great culture. Also,
why you want to bring up?
I'm just saying. That's all the part of it right there.
All right, Genie,
I mean, we be honest with ourselves. The culture really hasn't changed until recently. Even when Melo was there, the culture wasn't even all that great.
I disagree.
The culture has been inconsistent. The Lakers culture, first of all, we talking about identifiable. The Lakers are easily one of the most identifiable franchises
That's a fact.
in all of sports. So yeah, so they
identifiable, but they're not a house. My argument was that it's a household name.
You don't think the Lakers are a household name?
Kobe is.
You don't.
She just she just trying to stand her ground.
You don't think the Los?
I give Magic.
You don't think the Los Angeles Lakers?
No. When I travel abroad, no one's talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. They're talking about
because you're not talking about the Lakers.
Talking about the New York Knicks?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
They're
Big Nick on my body, bro. Yes, they are.
They're talking
Get her out the chair.
about the Knicks before the Lakers.
Yes.
More people know.
Because New York is better, bro.
New York, say the
right?
city.
And where the Knicks come from, bro?
The
you saying the city. You said to my man that he couldn't talk about Minneapolis because the Lakers in Los Angeles. Right, they're synonymous. They're synonymous, right? LA, Lakers.
Okay.
New York, Knicks. All right. You see the choir in the back, bro? So all I'm saying is they great, they cool, they cute. No, not Kobe. Rest in peace, GG. We love y'all. However, when we talk about culture and it transcending beyond sport is my argument why the New York Knicks are the greatest franchise. Basketball culture, we sucked for 15 years. And I was mad.
Okay.
So how you the greatest franchise? I don't get it.
Okay, so
I'm gonna just let her talk.
So you admit it. So you admit it.
We were bad basketball culture, but when we talk about overall culture, that makes a.
This is what it says. Los Angeles Lakers. It doesn't say Los Angeles. You can't argue for New York. Get her out of the chair.
Franchise relevant.
No, I think
Sorry,
there's
you gotta
a lot
go.
of similarities. Y'all got Spike Lee. They got Jackson on the sideline. There's a lot of similarities.
Who
So
knows Jack
go.
Nicholson now?
the point I'm making is there's a lot of similarities. The difference is one wins more than the other, okay? And we're talking about the actual team, not the city, the team.
In the city that it's from. And so that's what I'm talking about. I'm changing the parameters.
Yeah, you're
the
changing
team.
it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not talking about which city's better. I'm talking about which team is better.
Which team is better that comes from the better city. That's what I'm saying.
So why can't
Jamaica better? All right, let's move on.
Why don't the Brooklyn Nets get that love?
Because the Brooklyn Nets, one, they're very small. It's like America talking about Africa. America only been around 200, 300, 400 years. Africa been around for eons. So it's the same. If you're talking about the New York Knicks, who've been around, literally, they're one of the founding franchises of the NBA.
And what have they been doing since that foundation?
Oh, they've been doing everything. We've been
How many
doing everything. If you're only going to go with championships.
I mean, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about
if you
winning, relevancy, the dominance of the actual team.
No, that's what you're talking about. I'm talking about culture. I'm talking about I could go abroad and somebody know who the New York Knicks are.
All right, double
You can go abroad and
wrap it up.
You can go abroad and they can talk about it. Orlando Magic. Well, that don't.
LA's one of the worst places.
So let me sit down there and talk about Disney. Yeah, Orlando. Yeah, Orlando Disneyland. Come on, man.
in the world. But that doesn't necessarily.
Know who the New York Knicks are.
All right, double bang. Wrap it up. LA's one of the worst places in the world. But that doesn't necessarily reflect on Lakers versus Knicks judges. Yeah. What are we looking
right, here
for?
we go.
How did this one go?
I would say that I'm kind of disappointed in us right now because I wanted to stick to our arguments. I feel like he kind of really stayed on topic. A lot of us kind of more
Didn't.
opinion based. A lot about the stuff. Like hers was more opinion based too. I feel like New York is a better city, but LA basketball is a better basketball team. Like
There
if
you
we're gonna
go.
compare them. Like
I do think that the Lakers fan did win this one.
There
The
you
reason
go.
I choose that is because you guys were, as the fans, you guys were moving the totem pole a little too much.
I told you.
He asked who the best franchise was, and he claimed that the Lakers was the best franchise. As far as the Boston Celtics being the only argument, and the Golden State Warriors as well. I know you brought up just the medical staff, Wardell Curry, things of that nature, and it's a good point. I think
Ticket sales, viewership.
yeah, absolutely. I think those were all great points.
He the only one that
but
fault.
None that can refute the fact that everything he brought up about the Lakers, yes, they do bring in superstars, but being a great franchise organization,
That's what you're supposed
you
to
guys
do.
got to bring superstars in.
All right, I'll go last. I'm gonna give it to the fan.
Damn.
No.
Him. Got y'all ass. Pump fake. Got y'all ass. I thought I was tripping. I heard what he said.
You guys got to bring superstars.
I heard
in.
what he said.
I'm
They.
gonna give it to the fan.
No.
Him. Pump fake. Pump fake.
back doors open.
Not a lot of time.
He stayed on topic about the franchise. Obviously, the Warriors and the Celtics, like my opinion, they're a better franchise, which was a valid argument. But y'all didn't even talk about the Spurs. It was some couple of teams that y'all
Exactly.
didn't bring up, and y'all just focused on your team.
It's tough because room full of New Yorkers don't want to applaud Boston, but that probably was the way to go. All right, let's go to the next topic.
Here we go,
Kobe
man.
Bryant is a top 5 player of all time.
Kobe Bryant, top 5 player of all time. We're going to get into that one on part 2 of this. Listen, man, the Laker fan, he holding his own. These Laker haters going to have to up it a little bit because right now it's not looking good for y'all, bro. A lot of the time, a lot of these videos, not Laker haters, but the haters themselves, they usually don't do that well because they just are ready to say their own views and opinions. They just get down there and disregard the topic and just start talking about what they just want to get off their chest. And it's like, well, the fan can just sit here and just be like, well, the topic is this and this is that and this is that. Now, what do you have to say? And then they be like, the sky blue, man, because that's how the sun hit off that bit. Like, and you're like, all right, bro. But did you talk about my topic, though? Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Peace.